Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
All right. We are here, man. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get everything together. I didn't even get my juice to get my phone to make sure it's right. The time is right for you guys. You know, I always try to go within my time frame. You know what it is. All right. What is going on, y'all? What is going on? This is Nova Phoenix, your host on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. Yeah, man, we are back for another show. Thank you for coming and then tuning in and seeing that notification from iHeartRadio or wherever you hear your podcast. And you're playing it. I'm playing the show. Yeah, man. So this is going to be a full show for you guys with all the trimmings. How has your past weekend has been? How was all those good eats that you had for Thanksgiving weekend? I'm sure you still have a little bit of those leftovers left over and you're eating them. I sure did. I tell you, boy. Oh, man. Made too much food. Let me tell you, my turkey was sublime. I mean, yes, it was juicy and still juicy, might I add, when it was full leftovers by the third day. All you got to do is throw it in the microwave and the juices is still in the meat. Not the dark meat, the white meat. That's how good I make my turkey, man. Yes. How do I make it? How do I make my turkey? I make my turkey. I have my concoction. I can take it from anywhere online, whatever like that. I take my concoction and then I soak the turkey and let it bathe in the brine. I make it bathe in the brine. Oh my God. And for overnight I let it bathe. And then I take it out, I pat it dry, then I put on my dry rub. Oh man, that turkey was, oh man, I tell you. And then shout out to my wife. She was doing her thing. She made her broccoli casserole and mac and cheese. Oh my God. And a variety of other things. And and I made the fish. And yeah, it was good. And I did the social distancing thing, right? So, you know, I exchanged food with my family, and we called in Zoom to say prayer, say grace over the food that we had, and it was a special prayer because of the year of COVID that we're dealing with. But you know, it was, you know, I would have loved to have been there, but it's all good. We said grace and we dug in. Let me tell you, man, I was stuffed. And then I got to shout out my moms. For making that cake. She made chocolate cake. My young nephew, he's 15, he made orange cake that was off the chain, and cheesecake. And I bought a pie of pumpkin pie. And I was like, damn, man, I didn't really need to buy the pumpkin pie because I got all this here. And then I say the chocolate cake. Oh my God, yeah, it was a problem, man. I felt like a slob, and yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I had to do some at the end. I had to do some speed walking, and yeah, I did some speed walking because I was like, damn, I'm just like, all this good food, and you got all this food. My food was fully stocked, and I'm like, ain't nobody eating this but me. So I had to do a couple speed walking, and speed walking made me realize how much I miss working out, man. Because right before COVID was happening, I was in the gym, and you know, it was great. And then COVID hit, everything got shut down. I haven't worked out since March. So, man, let me tell you, to top off this year with Thanksgiving, And then having Christmas, definitely Christmas dinner is gonna be light. It ain't gonna be as much food that we made now. It's gonna be light for real, cause we made too much food. And I would feel so bad. And you're going to tell me, well, no, why didn't you just give away the food? Yeah, that's true. Could have gave away the food, but to who? Like, you know, my family that I know already got food. Do I have extended family? Do I have friends? Sure, I could have called some friends. But I don't know. I just didn't. I just held on to the food because it was damn good. Well, yeah, man. Man, I'm telling you, man, it was good, but it is what it is. So I hope your Thanksgiving was as mouth-stuffingly good as my Thanksgiving weekend. So yeah, and we're all thinking at the same time to go back to the gym carefully. You know what I mean? So all right. So what we seen last week, what I've seen, I saw A$AP Rocky, man, for Thanksgiving weekend. He actually donated a lot of food to folks, about 120 meals to families at a homeless shelter, actually where his mother was previously at when they were going through hard times. And yeah, he came back and gave a lot of food to a lot of families, man. So big ups to A$AP Rocky for doing that. Hopefully you guys out there that on a level like A$AP Rocky, all of y'all artists out there is donating to people that mostly need it. And you don't have to be A$AP Rocky level of money to help. But, you know, I thought that was a very noble thing for my man to do. Jay-Z and Will Smith, they're teaming up together to do a new film on Netflix. It's a Dwayne Alexander novel called 40 Acres, I think is what it's called. And who is leading the charge on this film is Cheo. Sorry, brother, if I'm mispronouncing your name. Cheo Hodari Coker, the hip hop journalist, just turned a director. He was actually the director for Luke Cage in the past. Now he's doing his thing with this film. Now, basically, the story is about a talented black attorney by the name of Martin Gray meets a group of well-off black men. And taken by all the opulence, all that money, all that notoriety that they had, he's kind of like pulled into it. And he welcomes and he's with an invitation to this weekend getaway. And next thing you know, he finds out that they're a part of this secret society that's dedicated to the preservation of slavery. And I guess there's this whirlwind of, you know, craziness that happens. So you have Overbrook Entertainment, James Lasseter, Capitol Entertainment, Aaron Kaplan, Niles Kirchner, and Bill Strauss will be the producers of the flick. Who knows when it's coming out? Probably in 2022, 2023. And I'm like, yo, shout out to Jay-Z and Will Smith for collaborating again. But I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling it. You know, again, we got something kind of connection to slavery. I'm like, damn, how many ways are we going to make this ham sandwich? You know, it's kind of like leftover Thanksgiving dinner, right? After you just ate a full, you know, roasted Thanksgiving, you got all these leftovers. Now you're going to make turkey soup. You're going to make turkey sandwich. You're going to make turkey tartare. You're going to make turkey with your eggs on the side. I mean, how many different ways are we going to eat this turkey? And with the slavery thing, I understand, I get it, but I'm like, I'm done with that story. I am done with that story, man. Yo, I would like Jay-Z, and I said this before, when I was talking about, what's the name that played Wonder Woman? Whatever, the actress that played Wonder Woman, and she's gonna get with the director of Wonder Woman to actually do Queen Cleopatra, and I got into link with that. I'm not gonna go over it again, but here it is. We have a film by two powerhouses in the entertainment business, and yet we are doing a story that's about slavery. I think have you seen the Netflix shows right now when it comes to sci-fi or fantasy? Like, they have the people back. Look, forget everything else. What was Will Smith movie that he did that not a lot of people liked? I liked it. I was I was digging it, but not a lot of people was digging the show. Yeah, there was some cliche things. It was called Bright. It was some cliche things, but I bring up Bright because it wasn't short on any of the special effects in that department. The special effects was on point. Like, they did not slouch on the special effects. It was really good. It was like major movie type, level of work being done in that movie, Bright. And my thing is, okay, it's not like we can't get the right special effects and the right set. Now it's time to do, even on a Netflix platform, let's do ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. Are we really going to do another slavery movie? I am so tired. Oh my God, I could scream to the heavens. Yo, I swear to you, I'm done. I'm done with the slavery movies. But more power to Jay-Z and Will Smith for doing another slavery movie. Thanks, Jay-Z. Thanks, Will Smith. Let's move on. So last week, I shared on Twitter a motion graphic from Now This. Everybody knows Now This. On Flight Radar 24 showing air traffic control on November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving. And even after the warning from the CDC asking Americans to refrain from travel, just be careful. People travel anyway. They travel anyway. They're like, screw y'all. I'm going to go and do something. Yo, and you know what? More power to you. Yes, that is your choice. You can do what you want. What the CDC was saying was a recommendation, is not law. Yeah, tyranny and all that business. But people still went and did their thing anyway. And this Flight Radar 24, I go ahead, be my guest. Anybody could Google it and you could probably see the traffic patterns. It was full November 23rd. The whole United States, all you saw was airplane icons flying all over the place, people traveling anyway to see family. So my thing is this: there are some things that's going wrong, going around, saying that there's a potential that the virus has there's a little potential, of the virus actually killing anyone. Okay, you could say that. Why are people so afraid of this COVID virus? It hardly kills anybody, right? And the other thing is, we're effectively controlling the virus through social distancing and mask wearing. So that's the other side of the argument, right? So, okay, cool. Let's say both are right in some way. We totally threw out both ideas, both arguments right out the window by everybody traveling, everybody intermingling, everybody going from one state to the next, packing on those airplanes like sardines and just decimating those two arguments. You just played yourself that, on the one side, you're saying it kills little people, but yet you're mixing in, and the super spreading methods that's happening here, you're only going to increase the number of people that could likely die. And then on the other side, if you're saying that you effectively are controlling the virus through social distancing and mask wearing, you kind of decimated that too, because now everybody's intermingling anyway, touching up everything and talking to each other's face and all that, and you going to your families and having your friends there, and you're corralling all in the home. Everybody's mixing up and laughing and drinking and holding hands and hugging and all that, and everybody disperses, go back on the plane, interacts with all those other people, and then all of a sudden, you're done. Why the hell can't people listen? And you know what? At the end of the day, yeah, it is your choice. But what we're trying to do is control this thing called COVID. So the over 250,000 people died. It doesn't matter. It never happened. It never existed. And if they did, sucks to be them. It can't happen to you, right? It can't happen to your family members. Interesting. And then it's funny, I just spoke to somebody last week, over the weekend, and he just came back from the Dominican Republic. Him and his wife is sick. I hope to God it's not the COVID, right? Of course, they did Thanksgiving. So now him and his wife is sick. And he says his wife is sicker than him. So they just went to go take a test, and he's waiting on the results. I don't know the results. I got to reach out to him. So look at that. I hope it's the regular flu. I do hope, because I just don't want anybody to get, the Russian roulette where you get the bullet and then now you got to be intubated. And that's the worst thing to ever go through as a person affected by it and your family members. Having to witness you going through this moment. And they got a little baby. So that's crazy. So yeah, we are not going to make it out of this, folks. As Americans, we are not going to make it out of this if we keep on acting this way. If we're socially irresponsible citizens, and we're not going to listen, and we're going to say because because what the CDC is asking and all the experts are asking for us to control our behavior, control our motions, our movements. We're gonna just kind of fly back in their face and say, "Oh, we know that's tyranny. Oh my God, you're encroaching on my freedoms. You're threatening my freedoms as an American. Oh my God, no, this is tyranny. No, we're not going for this." And I see all those videos online. Come on, man. Come on, folks. Come on, man. Let's be real here. So you want to say, what if we get a serious second wave and we have another in 250? If that happens, it's our fault. If there is another 250,000 people that die from this, just like the first time through March to June, however long from that span of time, you want another whole round of people dying because we couldn't just sit our asses at home. We deserve everything we get. You understand what I'm saying? We deserve everything we get. Man, even with the COVID, the next thing, the COVID-19 vaccines. So everybody, all the companies are announcing now. A couple weeks ago, we had one company. I can't remember. Anybody could Google it. We had one company that was saying that, okay, we got a 95 or 90% efficacy rate. It's high. That was one company. Then all of a sudden, the next company came out and was like, whoa, we got a 97%. Or 95%. Oh my God. When then another company, we have a 96 now, and all of them back to back. Okay. I don't know, really. First, it's about, and this is my thought. First, it's about dealing with this virus that's killing so many people, that's affecting so many people. And then we went out there, the government response was, okay, we're going to get these companies together to come out with a vaccine. We're going to run through this. And instead of it taking 5 years, we're going to fast track it and it's going to be in a couple months. So now these companies are doing it. And I just find it, in the back of my head, it went from trying to deal with this responsibly and getting a vaccine out to people. And it just seems kind of like, it's turning into this like get money thing for me. Because now all of them are saying, well, we have a 95, well, we have a 96. And everybody wants to be the first one on the ground running with this. It just seems so icky to me, how these companies are doing it. It's like, F the blowback. I'm just going to give you this and let's see what happens. They actually said, I actually heard that they're talking about the symptoms. The symptoms can be so severe that they're asking people that take these vaccines stay home from work the next day. Right? What? Wait, you say what? You tell me what? Say what? Stay home. What the hell type of symptoms I'm gonna get with the side effects? What you telling me? I'm gonna start bleeding out of my ears and my eyes? Like, yo, that's crazy. I read it somewhere. I'm like, it just seems, it's kind of like when you go to one of those smarmy car salesmen, like you always feel icky about it. So that's how I feel. That's that same energy I'm getting from all these companies trying to one up each other, trying to say their efficiency rate is like high 90s. And we're going to come out with it real quick. And I'm like, I don't know. So I say to black folks, man, be careful. Be careful, because even, I hear Governor Cuomo talking about, yeah, we're gonna deal with the people that's been most affected disproportionately by this COVID-19. That's black and brown people. Red flags go right up my whoa. Say what? Again, we're like say And so I'm like, so you want to give these to black people first and poor people, brown people? Okay. Yeah, so how about this? How about you give it to someone else first and then we'll watch see anybody comes with a tick or something after taking that shot in the first 2 hours, and then we'll come with that. How many people you out there is going to take this vaccine for the first time? I'm asking that question. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes in the coming months about this vaccine. But yeah, let's be on our P's and Q's about this, how this happened. All I'm gonna say is 2 words: Tuskegee experiments. Yeah. Next one. Let's go. So last week, Trump was at a press conference, right? This guy was at a press conference and he was talking about something. I don't even know what. They didn't even say what the full press conference was about. They didn't even say what the full press conference was about. But the thing that got me, right? The thing that got me was he got mad at one of the reporters because the reporter was asking him, about the validity of the voter fraud claims that he's saying. So he got mad. He's, I'm the president. I'm like, okay, my man's getting a little sensitive here, right? And it shows a lot about his character. But what got me was the chair that in desk that he was sitting in. I'm like, wait a second, this desk is crazy. This kitty desk and chair is crazy small. Why is he sitting so low? Why is this desk so small? So I went and Googled it and I put the, for images, and I saw a lot of different angles, and it kind of like, what's going on? This dude, whoever set this fool up, yo, that's crazy, man. This dude sat in the kitty chair and desk. I'm like, wait, if the desk is so small, why is he sitting so low under the desk? And then you saw the side angle. I'm like, who gave the green light for this dude? Yo, man, if that wasn't the slight of all slights on the low, yo, Mr. President, sure, look, this is your desk. This is where you're gonna sign this executive order. Right there, it's perfect. It's brand new. We just got it made. Sit right here. It's a little short. Don't worry about it. The camera's going on in 5 minutes, sir. We don't have time to change it. You look great. You look presidential. Can you imagine that talk? Oh my God. This dude looked like a fool on that camera. Man, I tell you, boy, that is something else. That was fantastic. And then on top of that, he just had a Sunday interview with, for the first time after a while, with Maria Bartiromo. What's her name? Maria, let me see her name. She has a bunch of shows on there. Maria Bartiromo. And he just goes on to say that, again, about the election fraud and, he can't prove it and da-da-da-da-da. He says something or other. So basically he was saying there's election fraud going on, but he went to his legal team and his legal team is saying that they can't go forward with it because they don't have any evidence. And that's what he's saying to them. Matter of fact, I don't even know if it was in that Maria Bartiromo interview, but essentially I'm like, wait a second. So if you're saying that there's election fraud and you went to your legal team and your legal team is telling you that, yet we don't have any evidence to go in front to kind of push this case forward, and you're saying it on national television, that means this whole talk about election fraud is a sham. So everything that your head lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was talking about was foolishness. Hot air, wasting people's time. And it came out of your mouth. So that should go to your Trump people, write to them and say, well, we feel there's election fraud, but I don't have any evidence. That goes to show everything that you did was null and void. So all that chest thumping was for nothing. That's what it sounded like to me. But whatever. Yeah, man. So so next, moving along, Samsung Odyssey G9, man. They got this new thing. That kind of got me like, I'm into like technology, whatever. So they got this QLED extremely wide curved monitor with a resolution of 5120 by 1440. This thing is obviously for gamers. Anybody can check that out. It's called Samsung Odyssey G9, and this is the screen of the future. They said it can be adjusted for fisheye lens appearance, the brightness, and then you can adjust the frame rate for a smoother animation motion. They're saying all in all, this is like beautiful for gamers. I saw it. I encourage people to go check that out. It's better than actually having multiple screens. This thing is super wide. It looks like you get lost in the game. I had the wow factor because I'm thinking about getting a PS5. I'm thinking about it getting a PS5, and I'm just imagining if I was gaming on a computer, what that experience would be like. So, from the reviews that I saw, it seems pretty solid, man, for you computer gamers. Check it out when you can. Samsung Odyssey G9. Next thing, Kodak Black, man. Kodak Black, he said last week that he was going to offer $1 million to charity if Trump can pardon him. Yo, bro. Oh, my God. Oh. Listen, I was never a super fan of this dude's music anyway. I like my hip hop a certain way, man. You gotta have lyrics, you gotta have beat, you gotta have flow. I was never ever taken by this dude. Like, even was like, let me give him a chance. Let me hear a couple more songs. Nah, right from the gate after hearing like 2 or 3 songs, I was like, how is this dude? Anyway, so it also shows you this dude's intellectual capacity where he can actually have someone post this to say he's going to offer $1 million to Trump if he get, not offer $1 million to Trump, to offer it to charity if Trump pardons him. I'm like, fool, what is your problem? Number one, Trump is leaving anyway. He's leaving anyway. And you're going to offer $1 million to a charity, which sounds kind of suspect. You want to buy your way out of jail because of your own efforting, because you weren't smart enough to keep yourself out of jail. Now you're going to talk to an F-boy just like Trump so he can pardon you. He don't even know who you are, bro. And even if he heard just a little bit of what you said, it's not going to register in his mind. He is off to the next thing. He doesn't care about you or the charity that you want to give $1 million to. All he is concerned about is himself. He could give a damn about you, Kodak. He could give a damn. And you actually put that out there, bro. Serve your time, son. Serve your time, and then get out and then do whatever you got to do. I can't believe I was like, yo, this guy, you know, you never cease to amaze me with the idiocy that some people have, man. Yo, that's crazy. Next thing, the Tyson and Roy Jones exhibition fight. That was crazy, man. That it wasn't so much of the Tyson. Now, I didn't get to see it. I just saw highlights. I was like, you know, big ups to Tyson and Roy Jones, and two great fighters that I highly respect. You know what I mean? Loved Roy Jones. I love Tyson, and they got this. I don't know how this happened, this exhibition fight. So, you know, it was a draw, came out to the draw. And that's what's up, man. Hopefully any of that money that was made, if money was made from it, because I didn't really get into the particulars about it, it could go to charity. You know what I mean? But what really got me was the the Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul joint. So Nate Robinson from the Knicks, and then Jake Paul, that YouTube, you know, social media influencer guy. I guess he had some, you know, he trained for a little bit. Now he wants to fight these other people, celebrity people in the ring. And that is what was funny, because Jake Paul, I can't even take the fight serious, but Jake Paul was doing some haymakers and knocked Nate Robinson out. And Twitter was alive after that. You know, so Nate Robinson, before the fight, he tweeted, "I'm going to shock the world." And then after the super knockout, Steph Curry tweets, "I see no lies." You certainly did shock the world. And then the tweet was, man, the memes was on fire after this knockout. And then Mufasa, you know, from what do you call it? That stupid show, that movie with Black is King. Oh my God, I can't remember. Anyway, Simba, Mufasa's son. Somebody put Simba on Nate laid out. Talking about this is what his coach is doing. That was funny. And then somebody else put like Sonic the Hedgehog rings. After he got knocked out, the Sonic the Hedgehog rings was just flying all. That was funny as hell. And he had, remember Martin Lawrence and Martin's show where he was fighting in the ring and they had him on the ropes talking craziness. Oh my God, that was so funny. And the one that really got me was there was a picture of Nate mid-fall. And the caption was like, I bet y'all wondering how I ended up like this. Well, let me take y'all back to the beginning. Yeah. That dude was looking silly as hell, man. I don't know why. Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh, bro. And then, you know, what's his name? He was throwing some wild joints. I ain't really take it serious, but the memes is better than the fight. And big ups to Snoop Dogg for his commentary, because my man was on fire. He's definitely get some kind of a show where he could talk mess after some fight or any whatever sports event or event. That dude was what, singing the hymns? What? Yeah, man. So that was funny. And then afterwards, last thing, before I go off into some songs. So after the good eats, I thought it would be great to share with you guys. After I had a good eats Thanksgiving weekend, I went out and I took a walk with the fam, and my kid was talking about, I was pointing at stars and stuff like that, and I was like, see the stars here, stars there. So one star in particular I was looking at, it was kind of like pinkish. I didn't know what it was. I was telling my daughter it was a star, and I'm like, yo, it's weird. It was pinkish. I never seen a star like it, right? Like pinkish red. So then, you know, I was like, you know, what the hell? Let me see if there's an app. Of course, there's an app for everything. So I looked for like constellation app, and I downloaded this app. It was called Skyview Light, and basically, if you open up the app and you point it towards the sky or in any direction, it's a 360 view, you can see all of the constellations. It maps out all of the constellations in the sky or wherever it's positioned. And then it pops up where you can see, of course, Gemini, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Pisces. A beautiful thing. And it has like very ethereal music going on behind as you're looking at this app. And then also if you center because there's a circle, like a target circle in the middle of the app with this window. And if you I pointed it at that pink star, and it wasn't a star. It was Mars. Crazy. It was Mars. And I was like, yo, that's that shining light, and it's always nearest to the moon. That bright dot in this pinkish dot in the sky. It's Mars, man. And then of course we moved it all around, and the second night we found Jupiter and Saturn, the first night found Jupiter, Saturn, and because you got to point it towards the ground. That's why it's a 360 view. If you point it to the ground, you'll see exactly where the planets are in position to the Earth. And then, of course, on the second night, I found the Sun, and I found Mercury and Venus. Man, again, it was pointed towards the ground. And then, yeah, it's a beautiful app, man. And I suggest if you have your kids and you go out in the night sky at night, and it's a beautiful, cloudless night, I recommend downloading that app, Skyview Light, man. My kid was super, super excited about that thing, man. And it's a great conversation piece with whoever you're out with. So dope. All right, so we're gonna get into the first round of music. So we're gonna go into Ayana Irish, All or Nothing, dope song. And we're going to follow up with Clutch Royale again with his last song of this 6-part series. And he has videos associated with it off his Soul Food Sessions, the main course project. This one is called Planes. It's dope. My man's got he got some tracks and he got some lyrics. So definitely you guys should check out Clutch Royale. So Ayana Irish with All or Nothing. And we're going to follow up with Clutch Royale, Soul Food Sessions, the main course. Off of that is the part 6 joint, Planes. All right, folks, so we'll be right back and check these tunes out. All right.
Listen up.
Turn up.
You're listening to GCOM Radio.
It hurts too much to be free. The way I fall gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing, all or nothing. It hurts too much to be friends. It hurts too much to be friends. It hurts too much to be friends. Oh, it hurts too much to be friends. Hey, hey, anytime you needed me, I came running, hard time loving, but it can't be like that no more. No, 'cause I want you, you wanna be with me, boy. It's gotta be all or nothing, baby. It's gotta be all or nothing.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
Me and God had a conversation. My soul was weak, I was feeling vacant, frustrated, isolated. I wasn't built in this combination. See, I almost put my whole life on hold, and I was just losing my concentration till I changed focus and moved aside what a ride, cause even at my loss, I was working hard, going bar for bar, and it was never noticed. But that's okay, it was never my mission to run away. Was always a journey to touch the world. See, I knew the game, let me make a play, go on, make a play, and watch a whole world shift. I was angry behind all the bars, and I was the author that came with a fish. You see what this is, you see what this is. How can you grow and how can you know? Come here and live and come here and live and give you some food to go with your soul. You see how that feel? So every day I was living free. 2020 came with new sight and vision unlocked, so it came with a key. You see how it be, follow the growth. I set the foundations that build on my own. I follow the blueprint and added some goals. I let go of feeling alone. Love. The path is strong, but the people change. They follow trends, so they switching lanes. I'd rather be labeled a leader than flock with the followers tracking the fame. The call that you're meant to be leading is greater than feeling the need to be praised. You see what I'm saying? Follow the mood. You see in the pain and feeling renewed. Gaining some knowledge and turn it to food. I'm out of the bucket, so crabs gotta move. It's no love, lost feelings. It was fun, but now I gotta run. I know it's different when you see the realness, but a message before it's all done. Here's to the dreamers, put it to work. Take from the mind and put to the hand. Do it with passion, but also precision. But never be scared to fail ever again. Here's to believe, it's time to walk. Take that step, I know you can. There's power in the multitude, there's safety in your stance. Here's to the lovers, you are the soul, show all the feelings. And never stop, give it all you got, because it keeps me. And to the leader, keep it in check. Being the leader, you have my respects. In order to lead, you gotta be these. And never lose sight in the call and be blessed. Eat up.
This is GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a Lyfer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
All right, so yeah, man, we're back. That was Ayana Irish. We're all or nothing, as I said. And before following up, right behind this lovely lady is Clutch Royale off his joint Soul Food Sessions, the main course, and this joint was called Plains. All right, so let's get right into the show, because we just got, I have a few things I'm going to say, you know what I mean? So before we do that, of course, I got to get into business of the week, of course, and this is great. I love this thing, because I'm going to use it, because brother getting older, and I'm losing a little bit of my joints. So let's get into business of the week. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders is what you've been waiting for.
Ever had an issue with hair loss? It's just not an issue for men only. Women suffer from it too. There could be a variety of reasons why this is the case. It could be from pregnancy, psychological stress, chemical overusage on the hair, and a list of other root causes. All in all, we have to be mindful of hair loss as we handle our crown from day to day. One product that looks like it's on the path of giving the healthy heft we need is Rain by DeRay. This product, created by Crochet, was from her also suffering from postpartum hair loss. It started out mixing oils to eventually adding her own special concoction of vitamins and herbs essential for positive hair growth, eventually selling product to her own market and growing to more. Her products range from shampoos, conditioners, and masks. Lyfeblood would like to salute Crochet for formulating a mix that could aid in supple, strong hair growth in those that suffer from a slow loss of it. We all deserve a worthy crown to be proud of and stand tall wherever our path may take us. All right, so yeah, man, we're back. That was Ayana Irish. We're all or nothing, as I said. And before following up, right behind this lovely lady is Clutch Royale off his joint Soul Food Sessions, of main course, and this joint was called Plains. All right, so let's get into right into the show, because we just got, I have a few things I want to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I was just watching the news and reading up online and everything like that, and I kind of spoke about it in a previous podcast. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit more, and it's just something that's just getting me right now, especially with hip hop and a lot of these artists. It's really kind of like disturbing me how I'm seeing a lot of these artists getting caught up in a lot of this business, man. It's getting shot. Man, I just don't understand some of what is happening, man. I mean, Lil Boozy, the King Von passing away, Mo3 passing away, Benny Butcher, him getting shot, Pop Smoke getting killed, Extacion getting killed. Fresher was the latest one. He shout out to Fresher, man. Hopefully, I wish him a fast recovery, and hopefully that this is a lesson that he can learn, and that he's definitely thanking or having reasons to thank during this Thanksgiving weekend, that he could thank for his life and his loved ones, that he came out of that all right. They pistol whipped him and stole his money, and supposedly they were trying to kidnap him. So, but that didn't happen. But yeah, man, it's upsetting that a lot of this thing, as a person from the hip hop community, man, it kind of hurts my heart that a lot of these rappers are going through this. And I don't want to say it's unique to hip hop. It does happen. The craziness does happen in pop music and rock music, and you just have those crazy fans that run up on you, and then they go to your house, and next thing you know, they think your best friend. The demented folks. So it does happen in other genres of music, but I feel that the things that are going on in hip hop, I think is unique because these rappers are coming from broken communities, economically depressed communities, and when you come back to the hood, there are those that gonna think you to come up, or you the bag. They're gonna try to snatch you up or do something to you, and they want to get clout. So there are a lot of wayward brothers out there that and sisters out there that will get into that. So I just don't get it. And some of these artists, man, I think just bring on that energy. And that's why a lot of times I feel like that hip hop has got to change. Even though you are going to speak from your experience, I'm not taking away anything that's happening to a lot of these hip hop cats, because, we all have our experience, man. We grow up in poor communities and we do what we got to do. But there's a difference between telling the story of what happens in the hood and romanticizing it. And when you put that energy out there, it comes right on back. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? It comes right on back. And sometimes I feel that, cats that came from the hood, it's consumed them, and they figured there was a way out. But, not everybody comes out like the wounded warrior, and they want to do better. A lot of people are shaped by the environment, and they come out just as effed up as they've been doing in the hood, and they treat the music like that. Let's keep it 100, y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100. There's a lot of cats out there in hip hop. We talk about culture vultures, people that come outside the culture, people that don't look like black folk and all that. And, we want to talk about how they misusing hip hop and, they treating it like some $5 hoe or something like that, and they shouldn't be like that. We got to protect the music, ... So I get what you're saying like that. They're all culture vultures that are out there. But to keep it real, there are culture vultures that exist right where we live. That people had an opportunity to make their way out of the hood, out of the dungeon, out of the gutter, right? And they come and do their music, and they treat the music like the trap game. You know what that saying is. Some of the cats, they be talking about from the trap game to the rap game, right? So I get it. But sometimes it's from the trap game to the trap game. They still doing the trap game. And they treating the music not as the beautiful culture as we want to say it as it is, but they treating it as something to misuse and abuse. Same thing that they've always been, how they've been raised to do in the hood, right? So we have our own set of culture vultures. We got our own set of people that don't have no moral or ethical standards, man. They just trying to get the bag and run, right? So that's a big problem, because that's those folks with that mentality. All the celebrity is, to keep it 100. Again, all the celebrity is, it doesn't change you. It just exponentializes the character of the individual. All right, it just puts it on a larger scale. So a lot of these dudes come in here, with some pretty messed up mentalities, man, and they want to bastardize the music, and they want to mistreat everybody around them. It's just not men either, it's women too. And they come in here and they make the culture toxic, man. And if as much as people want to support the culture, it is as much that we have to protect the culture, not from just outsiders that want to try to rip it off and siphon the energy and the money out of it, but from those that live within hip-hop culture, that are from our own communities, man. They want to treat it like the drug game, and they want to try to, because as soon as you talk about anything good, they be like, what? Well, all of a sudden they don't know how to articulate themselves. They articulate themselves real well when they in their lyrics. From dudes that they piss off, somebody's in a moment and they become a target. Now only it bigs up their own G game, so they get at somebody, making up their own enemies. So a lot of people are mistreating the game, and we got to be honest with each other, not from just people outside the circle, but from inside. If we want to preserve it, if we want to make it the way it should be, we got to check a lot of things, man. We got to be honest with ourselves. Because if we not, it's going to go right down the drain. Because anything you misuse, you're going to suck the energy right out of it. And what happens to it, you're going to toss it out. And then we can't blame nobody but ourselves. So we got to check that. Now, the other thing is, we got to make sure that we got to start moving with some purpose, y'all. These rappers got to start moving with some purpose. And I'm talking about like security. I mean, there's too many instances as the rappers I said now, they were probably by themselves because they could roll by themselves. And I've heard that saying where they be like, man, I'm real dude. I'm a real G. I ain't got to do that. I can roll up anywhere by myself. Nah, man. Because if you put out that energy, if you're going to talk that good talk, eventually somebody going to test that G. And all of a sudden you walking by yourself, you coming out of Burberry store, the Gucci store. All of a sudden you in your Lambo and you rolling through and you going to your man's spot that you just met down in Texas, and you going to roll to his spot. It's going to get around that this dude is going to be at this studio at this time. So I think there's one thing that going to seriously be considered is security. Stop playing around it. Because if you got money like that, everybody want to put the phone brick to their ear, the money phone brick to their ear. They want to throw it on the tables. They want to stack it up, right? Everybody want to be the slick dude. Everybody want to be the rich rapper, right? You got to start treating and putting that money where it should be. Treating that money as what it is. It's just money. It ain't nothing else. So even if you don't have a full team, some artists have to consider some sort of security to be a deterrent. 1 dude, 2 dude, 3 dude, wherever you go. I'm not saying you want to go to the corner store getting some cabbages. It depends on what the situation is. But stop acting like it can't go down. Artists can't continue to act like being a part of the hood is some sort of security blanket, man. You can't act like that no more. Even Lil Boozy said it when he was talking about from your own neighborhood, you probably get killed in your own neighborhood. People accept you more outside when you in other cities. And what happened, I think he settled in ATL, I think, or something like that. But sometimes that's not 100%. Come on, man. You are a celebrity now. You're a hood celebrity. If not so much as you kind of like spilled over into the Jay-Z kind of celebrity world. If you're the hood celebrity with dudes from the hoods of ATL, New York, Houston, Miami, LA, San Francisco, you know, all these hoods, and right up in the Midwest, I ain't forget you, Ohio, St. Louis, right? You go to these hoods, man, it's not a security blanket. You don't know everybody, and stop acting because you act gritty in your music. You gonna connect with gritty dudes. Yeah, you gonna connect with some gritty dudes, all right. So you gotta come correct, man. We gotta stop devaluing our lives. We gotta stop devaluing our lives in the music, and we gotta stop devaluing our lives how we move out there, as if it can't happen. Shout out to Derek Grace, man. Derek Grace is a dude that really was, you know, he set the internet ablaze because he was teaching his kids how to use guns, and they had the long rifles and the pistols, and he was teaching his 5-year-old and the 7-year-olds how to use a gun and dismantle it, right? Put it back together. People were like, oh my God, that's so irresponsible. No, he's definitely on the side of the Second Amendment. I'm on the side of the Second Amendment, right? And he's teaching his kids how to use them. I mean, all those other cats out in the Midwest, out in the country out there, they're teaching their kids, taking them hunting and stuff like that. I don't know if he takes his kids hunting, but he's teaching them how to use a weapon. It's no different than a bow and arrow, no different than a spear, no different from any long projectile weapon. That's just what it is. I feel that everybody should be able to know how to handle a weapon for self-defense. And also, he's even promoted on his IG where he's got his family wrapped up with being his own security team. That's what's up. I think that is a dope thing. He's employing family members, and he has another side business other than what he's doing mainly. That's definitely something. Hopefully he's sitting down and, you know, it's not on camera. He's working out all the details because it's needed. It's needed, man. And it shouldn't be just Derek Grace. It should be anybody that's been in law enforcement, that's been in the military, that has any of that background. Old veterans, start security companies. It's needed, obviously, from all these dudes getting run them on. Make it a business. That's another thing. It's needed. It's open. I don't know of any security companies that's black owned. I don't. I know probably of one. I interviewed this dude a long time ago on the show, and he was talking about what he was doing by, you know, being security for high dignitaries, and it gave him an opportunity to travel the world. I forgot the brother's name right now, but it was an interview that was put on by LK Mason. Shout out to LK. What's up, lady? And my man is definitely has that background, military, all that, and he travels the world, and he does photography, and that's how he takes a lot of pictures. When you go to his site, you see a lot of different places. So yeah. Big ups to that brother. I'll find his name later. I'll shout him out another time. So it's something that needs to happen, man. All right. If we're about our business, if we're about just seeing different ways where we can get into anything entrepreneurially, this is one thing that you got to do. Now, listen, NOI provides plenty of security, brothers. I see rappers be talking about they got NOI on the team. That's what's up. NOI is good for that, but security companies are needed. It's a great business venture to get into. I think about it myself at some point. Yeah, I talked about it a little. It's a great because I see it happening. I'm like, nobody else is, you know, I see all other types of businesses, like people with water, people with hair care products, people want to make socks, sports. I don't see anybody that's promoting security for high level people or mid-level people. Why not? You don't know. You can get a government contract. You don't know. You get a state contract, city contract, or you could make it international with other dignitaries from around the world. I think it's something that we got to consider. It's twofold. We got to get our act together as far as hip hop artists. If we want to treat this music, hip hop, as the beautiful culture that it is, starting in New York City and being a worldwide force that it is today, and we want to show and give respect to the artists that are practitioners of it today, then we just can't just love the music alone. We got to love the people that creates the music. Understand what I'm saying? And that involves protecting them. And that's protecting Lil Boozy, that's protecting King Von, Benny the Butcher, all the brothers that passed away. They should be alive right now if we took our business serious. You know what I mean? That's just the truth that we got to live by. That's what we have to deal with coming out the hood. So let's do this right. You know what I mean? All right, so let me get out of here. Let me go into the next couple of more songs that we got. We got Jax the Band. They hit me up. They got their new song called Blind off their album The Glow Up, man. Beautiful, beautiful family band, man, doing their R&B thing. And right after that, we gonna do replay a brother that we had on the show before with his music. His name is Shiwan, and his song is called Serenade Lost. So two dope artists, one group and one solo, but two dope acts is great. Jax the Band with Blind and Shiwan with Serenade Lost on Come Around Again. So we'll be back with the final show, or final segment, excuse me. All right, we'll be right back.
Ooh, a GCOM exclusive.
Don't say a word. You don't even know, babe, what you deserve. I could give you the world, but you're funny to me. I might stay all out, but you never read, and I'm jealous of you, 'cause it's not up to me. I could show you the door, but I don't ever keep on
Oh, I should have let go way back in time, but I hold on to you, baby. What you've been going through lately, know that you can tell me all your secrets. You can trust and know that I'ma keep it more than 100 with you. It used to be us two together, rain and thunder through the weather. Done with us because you're doing better. I want you, I won't lie. Still I can't help but feel like I need you.
the world, but you're blind to me. I might stay all out, but you never read, and I'm jealous of you, 'cause it's not up to me. I could show you the door, but
Y'all check it out, y'all.
Here's a bonus. You heard it before.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Serving that heat. Now turn it up. GCOM Radio.
I'ma need a reminder. I've been checking my time. I've been feeling some kinda. I ain't feeling the vibe. I've been needing some guidance. I don't wanna rewind. You've been making my mind up. I can't make up my mind. Too much stressing. I can't cool it. They know they stay around me too lit. I pray with standards. Don't think I'm clueless. Gold trophies around me. Don't think I'm winless. Faster, they want me on my grind. Man, I don't got time, got a 9 to 5. And I see of forgetfulness, they always ride me blind. When I just decline, I pray on time. Too much stressing, I can't cool it. They know, they stay around me, too lit. I pray with standards, don't think I'm clueless. Gold trophies around me, don't think I'm winless.
All right, yeah, man. So that was Jackson Band with Blind on their album The Glow Up. Go and check that out on any place where music is sold, man. Go to iTunes. People go to iTunes. And then we'll have Shawan with Serenade Lost. Check that brother out. We'll definitely have his IG link on there. Check his page and get any new music from this dude. All right, so before we get and continue into the last segment of the show, we definitely have news you need to know. All right, let's get it going. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Around the world and right in your neighborhood. It's the news you need to know.
Zimbabwe mine collapse. In Madura, 43 miles north of the capital Harare, a mine collapsed on several miners on Wednesday, November 25th. The cause of the incident was support pillars being damaged during blasting. The mine was 328 feet deep, and it was unknown what level some of the workers were located. The rescue efforts was long and labor intensive. The rescue efforts took longer because of a generator used to drain the mine failed, and the replacement took time to find. Ministry of Information Secretary Nick Mangwana says a deep disused mine trench has caved in, trapping several illegal gold miners. Exact number not yet established. So far, 6 miners have been rescued. Details to follow, but numbers could be circa 30, unquote. Mining is an integral part of Zimbabwe's economy. Gold accounts for 60% of exports. Since COVID, many families has risked entering illegal mines to soften the blow of ailing economic conditions. Unfortunately, illegal mining is common in gold-rich Zimbabwe, leaving many to deal with the high-risk task to help feed their loved ones. Armed sovereign citizen man arrested in Boston after buying explosive ingredients. A man, Pep Heard L, was arrested at a Boston bus station carrying gun and ammunition. Afterwards, it was discovered Mr. L purchased explosive ingredients as well. The arrest revealed he had a loaded Glock, several magazines, a knife, and a bulletproof vest. He was also wearing a security guard's jacket, though it is known for Mr. L not to have been employed by any security firms in the past. Mr. L was under surveillance for some time before the arrest. In a 2004 felony conviction, he was prohibited from possessing guns or any ammunition. Mr. L is a part of the Sovereign Citizen Racist Organization, having a right-wing anarchist ideologies. Along with explosives, it was also known for him to have a 20-foot-long model rocket fuse, police patch, a car siren, hats with logos from Home Depot, Amtrak, and AT&T, obviously utilizing the hat apparel as disguises. Mr. L is charged with one count of being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition and has been detained for a December 2nd hearing. The investigation is ongoing in the matter. And that is the news you need to know. Yeah, man. Crazy. I think, that last one I was talking about, that dude with sovereign citizen, dude. That's crazy. See, they're out there, man. They out there. We got a lot of, as they call them, terrorist organizations that are operating. Man, it's crazy. All right, so before we get out of here, we got the last segment, and it was something that I was looking at or listening to. I found this thing. I forgot how I found it, but it kind of falls in line with, of course, as I said, with the company Lyfeblood.com. I think it was a great, like a 30-minute piece. I'll share it on my IG, but it was about the technological progressions that we are having in our society. And it was done by the Singularity University chairman and founder, Peter Diamandis. And he just spoke about, the title of it was A Post-Capitalist World. And I was, of course, I'm taken in by it. And I agree with a lot of what he was talking about. And the post-capitalist world that we are going to enter in, I don't think it will be post-capitalism, but as he says, if you watch this piece, if you just Google Singularity University, Peter Diamandis, and post-capitalist world, it'll show how things will be it's going to show how things are going to be continuously demonetized in this society as our technological advancements continue. Man, I'm getting tripped up on my words, but it's all good. So as you already know, as I've said on the show before, that our technology is moving at a faster pace. And eventually we're going to have to deal with the issues that are presented to us because of the technology that we are implementing. And I've kind of like mentioned it on a number of different things. That's going to be AI, that's going to be globalization, and it's also automation. All these things together is going to slowly displace jobs, and we're going to get into a situation where we're just going to be looking at each other like, oh man, what are we going to do? And he said, Mr. Diamandis, in his piece, he was saying pretty much all industries are going to be affected by it. Energy, food, communication, education, healthcare, transportation, water, housing, entertainment, information, insurance, and labor. And all these things are going to be democratized, dematerialized, and demonetized. Democratized meaning is going to be available to everybody. Dematerialized, where the physical devices that we use, that we once bought 25 years ago, like cameras, are slowly going to just disappear from hardware to software. And then demonetizing, of course, because all of these things are accessible and technology is making it cheaper for us to get these devices. Things will become cheaper. It's like almost compared to your television. I remember when flat screens first came out, they were like $3,000. It was when they first came out, it was like, man. So only pretty much people with the guap was able to get these with these flat panel televisions. And then all of a sudden, you can go to bestbuy.com and you see the same flat panel that's like a 65 inch for $400, like $508, whatever. These items are getting cheaper. So that's just an example to show how our technology is moving at such a fast pace, is making these products cheaper and accessible to everyone. And I don't think, as I said before, capitalism is going to go. I don't think it's going to disappear. He made the reference to Star Trek as an example. How, of course, in Star Trek, there's no such thing as money. We're flying through space and these spaceships, and, there's no need to trade goods with currency because things are just available to the point where they could just, what do you call those things again? Not the holodeck. Even that's one of my favorite things, but where they make the food. So they'd be like, let me get a coffee, and it just, comes and just materializes out of nowhere. So, that's more the flights of fancy entertainment part of it. But at some point it's going to get like that. And I don't think money will say in like the 20 years, in the next 10 years or 20 years, I don't think it'll disappear. But as I said, things will be at such a cheap price that, it's going to be available to everybody. I mean, it's going to change our society irrevocably. It's definitely going to have us asking questions like, okay, who are we? What's my purpose? Where do we go? And I'll get into that a little later. So he kind of was talking about how he's kind of a fan of Ray Kurzweil. I'm a fan of Ray Kurzweil, talking about the singularity, how these technologies, or for instance, the memory power of computers are moving at such an exponential rate that eventually we will reach the singularity. And with that being known, how's that going to affect all the other things that we use today? I don't know. These companies, man, it's funny. These companies, it's a funny thing. These companies that hurry this technology, how they want to get these things into place, they kind of make us better consumers. They want to make us more efficient consumers. Like when you're buying online, like that you pick up these items at the store. Next thing you know, a matter of fact, you don't even have to pick up the items at the store. They're coming to you in 2 days flat. You can get these items on your computer, through your phone, all of these things. All these things that companies are using to make us more efficient consumers will eventually be their undoing. They don't have to talk about, the technology is going to get to the point where we don't have to talk about how it's toxifying the environment. We don't have to talk about how products are being harder to produce, or buildings and infrastructure are taking so long to be made. They're being made quicker and faster. They will finally realize eventually the idea of making money no longer plays a significant part in how human beings operate. I think it's ironic, as I said. The very thing that companies are using that will make us more efficient consumers will eventually be their undoing. They know it, but they can't stop. Because they're making this money hand over fist consistently, they're not changing the model. Interesting, isn't it? It's like a self-prophesizing action that them want to making all this money by making us better consumers. All these technologies that they're incorporating into their business model. From everything from transportation to medical procedures, all these things, construction, all these things, we will advance to such a point where it will be their undoing. That is so crazy to me. That's why I call it a self-prophesizing action. And when will this take place? Mr. Demonetized was saying in his conference, he showed an old picture in 1904 of two cars. It was a city street in New York City, and the whole street was filled with horse and buggies, and there was only two cars, and he circled it. And he says by 1917, all of those horse and buggies were replaced. And I think those cars were Model Ts, I'm not sure. Replaced. That's how fast at the time in 1904 that it took to replace the horse and buggy. Technology advanced to the point where it was made available to everyone, and the cost of using that tool was more beneficial than what it would if they were using a horse and buggy, or what it would be if they were using a horse and buggy. And he said the Model T was officially came out in 1912. That was like the halfway point. And 4 years later, it was a complete turnover. And that was in 1910. That was back then. Black and white pictures, right? When we see those old pictures, we say, man, that was a long time ago, man. That seems so archaic and just old. something that's left in the past. Wow, we're not there no more. We got iPhones and everything. Now, because that we're moving so fast today in 2020, what is it going to be in 2030, 2025, 2045? We have to consider that. How will we sustain ourselves if that's the case? Again, that's where Lyfeblood comes in. And I don't want to self-plug, but that's what it's all about. That's why I talk about these things on this podcast. That's why I talk about everything under the sun, because it all is interconnected with Lyfeblood.com. It all plays a part. All of these societal things, from jobs to hip hop to music to what's happening with cryptocurrency to what's going on in our politics, what's going on in our society, everything under the sun, all roads lead back to Lyfeblood.com. What does this mean? As I said, how will we sustain ourselves if the technology is moving so fast? Now, Lyfeblood believes in UBI because eventually, as I said before, in construction, you could have 25,000 people in a union. 20,000 people are out to work doing their thing, healthy as it is, as we all know it. But then as we advance this technology, we don't need 20,000 people out on the street, out doing whatever they're doing in their trade. Now we only need 5,000. You know how many people are out of work? You know how many people are looking back and forth to each other trying to figure out, hey man, I need to work too. I got to feed my family, right? And this is just construction. So Lyfeblood believes in UBI, and companies are talking about it right now. Facebook, I think Mark Cuban mentioned it. Mark Zuckerberg, of course. I believe Elon Musk mentioned it as well. We're going to have to introduce UBI. And as I said before, and I've talked about it on the show, even the mayors, about 20 mayors that are promoting UBI in their own respective cities. But it's just more than just that. What do we do when these jobs are no longer available? What do we do with our time? That changes everything. That changes our whole purpose as human beings. Because as Mr. Diamanda said, when you introduce yourself to a job, when you introduce yourself to a person, what do you say? The first thing that comes out of your mouth, or I wouldn't say the first thing that comes out, but the second or third sentence is, "This is what I do." Because your job is a part of who you are. It identifies you, right? And that is so layered in so many ways as far as showing your purpose and your value in society. But when these jobs are no longer in existence, what does it mean to us, or what does it mean to you when you no longer are talking about your job? How will we sustain ourselves? What will we be doing? What will give us purpose? And I believe that I believe that our society will become more creative. Once computers and robots start taking over the mundane parts of our lives, of our society, and doing things that we no longer have to put our hands on, I think it's an opportunity for human beings to be more creative and finally seek out things that they truly love. And Lyfeblood, the purpose of Lyfeblood is to be the bridge to this new world. Because as I said before, we have to start preparing. You know what I mean? We have to start preparing. We can't wait till 2 years to the point where jobs will be eliminated and all of a sudden we're looking left or right. Oh man, what are we going to do? We can't wait. Okay, now they're saying 3 years. Oh man, in 3 years, this won't be in existence. We can't do that. If our technology is advancing at such an exponential speed, what are we doing to prepare to the point where now it's presented to us? Now we have something in place where it will soften the blow, or we can make a smooth transition too. We can't wait to that very point when we get to the edge of the cliff. That's why we got to start working on this now. If it happens 10 years from now, 15, 20, that gives Lyfeblood enough time to set itself up. For people to start realizing, what do I really want to do with my time? As they scratch their head. man, my job, that doesn't exist anymore. So who am I really? Who are you if you're not your job? And you know, these things change. People change jobs seriously, like at least 2 or 3 times in their lifetime. People work those menial jobs when they're in their teens. Whatever field that they graduated on, they take on that new job in their 20s. All of a sudden, say if they don't like it, now they gotta segue into something else that's gonna serve their time. And usually it's not because it fulfills them, it's because they need to, make money. But sometimes people take the time to segue into something, make a lateral move. And then that's the next 10 years in your 30s, 40s, right? If you really love it. I've seen people that switch a couple times. I know somebody's been doing it's like 5 or 6 things on their lap. And I'm like, damn, bro, pick something. Because capitalism is my mind where you have to figure out what you're going to do to make money. Because at the end of the day, we have to pay lights. We got to put food in our stomach. We have to pay rent, all these things, mortgage, all the daily things in our lives in this capitalist world. I'm like, man, you got to pick something. But really, what does that mean for us when we get to that point when these jobs are no longer available? When society changes, where now it's human-centered. That's where we're going. Society will be more human-focused because we no longer are slaves to this work anymore. This redundant work, day in and day out. So what does that mean? And Lyfeblood is for that purpose. Find your passion. What is it that you like to do? Grow with it. Meet people that are like-minded. Whether you worked at the Large Hadron Collider or you worked at BMW for 20 years and now you're automotive engineer, you have this new thing that you want to introduce. You're a musician. Listen, I want to get paid adequately. I live as a musician, right? I live as a musician. How does that play out? How can we sustain ourselves in the things that we truly love? Because this world is here. This world is here. And it's coming at us like a freight train. So who knows, by the time my kid is 20 years old, it's going to be a whole different world. That's what we got to prepare for. That's what we can do in this generation. My generation. And certain cities understand that. New York is definitely understand that. There's a lot of programs that's coming together where they're saying they have to prepare for people for tomorrow. That's great. But how can we all play a part in this and contribute to this whole new world that's coming at us very soon? So that was the interesting thing, man. I was watching that and a lot of ideas was flipping through my head and thinking about Lyfeblood and thinking about people and even the technologies that we haven't even thought of yet, how that's going to change our lives. Can you imagine Facebook before Facebook? Can we imagine our lives before Twitter? But now it's so much a part of our lives. It's like we have to say something. Okay, I got to say something. All right. It's not going anywhere. And then Facebook is going to go and it's going to be something else. And Twitter is going to go and it's going to be something else. So how do we prepare? That's what I'm saying. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for listening to me ramble on and jump my words and all those things. I should have had my tea here, but it's all good. And speaking of Lyfeblood, please, people, sign up for Lyfeblood.com, man. Go find your passion, whatever it may be. Find it, ask for people to say, hey, man, join Lyfeblood.com. Throw me $1. Just give me $1 a month. Let me see what I can do to live. And UBI plays a part in it. As I said, I forgot to mention, it's no longer giving money to in a vertical sense, how we're giving it to these big corporations and giving to these huge established nonprofits, right? Everybody's always asking you for $25. Can you? Why don't you give it to each other laterally, right? Because the money is there. You're able to give it. We kind of scratch up that money for this thing and for that. The cause is you. That's the new cause. The cause is making you a better you. So join Lyfeblood.com, be a part of this new world that we're creating and preparing for the new world that is coming. And share it with your people. Share it. or if you have a cause or something that's going on in the community, you want to build vertical farming, hydroponic farming. Let the community of 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 people contribute monthly, have a plan set out, and then contribute this on a monthly basis. The next thing you know, you don't have to ask anybody for anything. You don't have to ask for government money, nothing. It's from within the community. Have someone steward that, make it come through for the community. And eventually, now that you present it to the people, hey, we got this. Now we can build our first 4-story vertical farm, hydroponic farming. Now you don't have to ship in food from other places. You get it from right where you live. All right. Thank you for listening. I'm going to get out of here and continue with my life. I'll see you and talk to you guys next week. Hopefully I can think up of a great conversation to talk about with you guys. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Peace. I'm out.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.